I am Gina Buckney, and I want to talk to you about how to stay motivated when you are working on your own. And that might be that you're running your own business, or it might be that you're just working on your own and you're at home, because we are in a pandemic where there's times where we either can't go in the office or you have to socially distance. So it means for the first time ever for some of us, we are not based with our colleagues like day in, day out. Now, I know because I speak to a lot of people, for some of you at first, that was like, hallelujah, I can stay at home and I can be with family. And that's really nice. Over time, I know some of you are like, get me back into the office, because it can be difficult to work from home. And why am I a good person to talk about this? Well, in my 16 years of working with or for large corporations, worldwide corporations, my role a lot of the time was managing huge teams of people and all over the globe. So what that would mean is I can't be in the same place as them at the same time. So for me, it is quite natural for me to be working on my own in a different office and not having my team with me day in, day out. Now, I say quite natural because over time you get used to it. There are pros and cons though, and there are things I miss from not being in the office with the team. And I'm sure a number of you will be able to relate now, right now. You can't beat going for a coffee with someone, or if you have an issue with someone, which can happen. I'm sure some of you have had issues with your colleagues in the past. It can get quite heated. And if you are an email warrior, which I bet quite a lot of you turned into at the minute, and it's like email, and you're firing off those emails with angst and annoyance because things haven't been done, sometimes they can be read in a different way. Like, we have to be careful with email or text communication because it can come off in a different way than what we maybe mean it. And if you're like me, I can be quite blunt sometimes. And it's not because I mean to be really blunt, it's because I'm busy and maybe there isn't all the time for niceties. And I say this to my team, they have to bear with me. Some mornings I come on a call and I'm like, and this is the start of the week. I apologize now to my team. And I'm like, right, let's get down to business. What needs to be done? Who's doing what this week? What are the goals? And there's not even a good morning or how was your weekend? So I'm training myself to be a bit more human when it comes to that. And this could go across an email as well, that would just, when you are in a manager position, for example, if you are in that, or a leadership position, sometimes we can be really blunt. And it's not because we mean to be, it's because there's a lot we need to get through. But anyway, so it's one, I need to speak to different groups here. So if you are a manager, or a leader, how do you stay motivated yourself when you're not with your team? We'll come to that. But also, then if you are a team member and you're not getting any time with your leadership team who provide you that guidance and that energy, are you getting that virtually? And that is so important that you do, especially when the human connection isn't there. So how do we stay motivated, and how do we keep the teams motivated as well? So let's come to, first of all, keeping ourselves motivated, because I was doing an interview earlier with someone who's just a legend. It'll be released soon. If it's not already, I'm not sure of the order of these videos are going to come out, but he has an OBE from the Queen. He is literally a champion in his own right, coached so many people to win gold medals. And I was chatting to him, I won't reveal it in case it's not come out yet, and he was saying to me about the analogy that you have to take care of yourself first. And that's not selfish. Like, if you're on an airplane, and it's so strange that he's my mentor now, and can you tell I'm proud? He's so strange. It's so strange, sorry, that he uses that analogy, and I did too. I always say you have to put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. And I know that can sound selfish, but if you can't look after yourself, what can you give to others? If your energy is depleting and you can't lift yourself up, you're certainly not going to lift anyone else up or inspire anyone else. So if you are that leader now and you're at home and you're deflated and feeling demotivated yourself, that is going to rub off. Because let me tell you this, if I've learned anything from 16 years working with corporates, and I've got a number of years working for myself as well, then behavior passes down. It really does. So it's so important that we keep our energy up. So that's to anyone out there who's leading a team at the minute. Think about your energy. Think about how you're going to raise that. Are you being clear with your communications? Now, if you work for an organization and they've got a very clear vision and mission and a roadmap, this is easy because all of the material is done for you. It's usually passed down and you share it out and you repeat what you've been told. That sounds really condescending. It's a lot harder than that. Don't get me wrong. I know people in those positions have a really challenging job, and they do an amazing job to carry such huge teams with them. So I'm simplifying it here, but that communication, that thought of that vision is already there because someone has formulated that. You maybe have been involved in that process as well, right? So you're able to share that. Now, and make sure you recap on it. So these are the foundations and the building blocks that are going to get your team to where you need to take them, especially when you're not together day in, day out. So are you reminding the team of where they're going, what the roadmap is, the vision? And if you are a business owner, there are things we can learn from corporate, absolutely 100%. These are the biggest businesses we have, even entrepreneurs who have started businesses like Elon Musk. Yes, he was an entrepreneur, started them himself, but they've become corporate businesses. We have to look at the corporates and go, what are they doing? How do we mirror their behaviors? And so if you are a new business owner or a small business owner, medium-sized business owner, are you reminding your staff of the vision and mission? Are you keeping them focused on the direction of travel of where they need to go? That's what's going to carry them through and keep them motivated, part of what's going to carry them through. So coming back to the leader again, are you giving yourself some time? And this is critically important. And I know this more than most, because if you're someone that is a go-getter and goes for it, sometimes you don't give yourself that time. And what can happen, like I say, is your energy depletes, and you can get to a certain level where then you start to become non-productive or demotivated, and actually your productivity declines, and you don't want to get to that point. You really don't. So are you taking time for you? Are you spending time with your family? You might be at home, but are you present? Because you might think, I'm at home all the time. Are you spending quality time? Believe me, that's important for your family, but it's so important for you as well. Otherwise, you'll end up maybe carrying this feeling of guilt that will eat away of you. Might not be in your conscious mind at the forefront, but it'll be there at the subconscious, ticking away. So schedule that time, spend the time with the family, do something fun, even if you're indoors, do something that is fun together with the family. And so important, and this is not just for the leaders, this is for anyone at home, disconnect. You have to be able to disconnect from work at the end of the day. Now, depending on what time your end of day is, it could be 4 o'clock, it could be 5, it could be 8 o'clock, it could be midnight. I've been there. Whatever time it is where you go, that's the cutoff and it's time to wind down. Make sure you switch off, you disconnect, you have a routine or something that allows you to mentally go, I'm out of work now, because you might be surrounded by wall charts, which I am in my home, diagrams, plans, everything, and you might be looking at them all night long. Just disconnect, even if it's just a little switch in your mind where you go, right, it's done now. I'm now going to relax and watch something on TV, read a book, whatever it is. Okay, so leaders, let me try and think if there's anything else for the leaders. I think feedback is important. Are your team happy? How are they coping? Sometimes it's not easy to draw this out of them because everyone will always say they're okay. They don't want to disappoint, maybe, but it's important we have those conversations with our staff and we understand as well, is there anything going on at home? Is there anything else affecting them? The one thing that I do is I try to understand what they enjoy. And if you can find something that you enjoy together, like a common shared hobby that you can do together, I mean, there's no team outings anymore. There's no drinks after work. So, how do you maintain that team spirit that you can't get in the office? Because let me tell you, I've had arguments in the boardroom, in meeting rooms with colleagues, like heated arguments, like, yeah, I'm admitting this, but I have, because sometimes you get passionate about the project or the business you're working on and you disagree, and it can go there. Conference call is the worst. Like, who's had an argument over conference call? The absolute worst, especially when there's other people on it. You've got to maintain that back. That's one thing that is like, hold it back. So, but if that's the case, it's very important to go, okay, how do we get over this and do it quickly? If that's ever happened to me, I have picked up the phone like after the call or at the end of the day when things have calmed down. And I've just been honest and like, what happened there? Like, I don't understand why we got to that point. I don't want us to be at that point. How can we resolve it and respect each other's point of view? Because tensions come out when there's pressure. Like, we know this. So picking up the phone is one way to do it. But the best way I've ever found is when you can just go out for a drink after work or for some food. Because the minute you step out that office together, it's like you put on a different hat. You're no longer that leader, that maybe I was going to say hard-faced person, and I pay myself right here, but you know what I mean. You have a role to play when you're in work, and when you come out, you sort of take that off your back, and you like who you are again. So it's difficult for us to do that at the minute. And what I've been doing with my team, we're about to start it, is what fun outings can we do? There were quizzes, movie nights, watch a series, there were game nights. And you know what? Although sometimes we think we don't really want to mix, some of us may think we don't want to mix with our work colleagues, when I have and stuff, and it is so important. So it's valuable. And we're actually starting a movie night where we're going to chunk it up into 3 sections so that it doesn't take too much of the working day. And we're going to then debrief on it on a film. I'm not going to tell you, it's a really girly film, a film that we've picked. And yeah, we're just going to enjoy that together. That's all for now. I hope you have a good evening. Take care, and for anyone that enjoyed this video or wants to hear any more, then hit subscribe to my channel. There'll be a lot more coming out in future. For now, take care and good night.